Today we're going to talk about how to put a clarinet together, as well as how to use cork grease on the tenon corks, as well as how to put a mouthpiece on and line up the ligature and read appropriately. So what we're going to do is start with a good quality cork grease, and we're not going to put a whole lot on. This is just to condition the cork and work a little bit in. We're just going to put a little bit on, just wipe it on real quick, keep wiping it on, and then just work it into the cork. Now, cork grease can also make a big mess. So I just got a little bit of a clump on there. We're just gonna put that into it a little bit, rub it in a little bit more, as well as down here. Rub it in as good as you can. Then we're going to clean up and put the instrument together. You don't want to get too much cork grease on the tenon itself. If you get too much cork grease, it'll just come up into here and collect, and try to wipe that off. I didn't get any extra, but just go ahead and take your fingernail, take your paper towel, and just wipe any of that extra off whenever it does get to that point where it's starting to build up too much. Now we're going to go ahead and put the instrument together. What we're going to do today, there is no right or wrong to this, but this is just how we're going to do it today. We're going to start with the bottom joint. We're going to hold it this way. And the reason why we're going to hold it this way is so we're going to close down the bottom keys. Now, whenever we do this, we're going to turn this way. And I'll show you why here in a second. We're going to hold these keys down and turn this way. Because if we slip, then all we're doing is pushing the keys down. If we slip the other way, we're going to be pushing the keys up, which could cause damage to the instrument. So we're going to hold on here, and we're going to take the bell. Hold the bell at the bottom, and gently twist the bell onto the instrument. See how I twisted this way? The same with the barrel. We're going to take the barrel, hold our hand down on the top of the instrument, so we're pushing down on the keys, and we're going to go with those keys and just twist it onto the instrument. So now we have the barrel and the bell on. We're just going to change hands. Take and hold the bridge key down. This is called the bridge because it has the key here, top bridge, bottom bridge. That's how the top and bottom of the instrument talk to itself. And the point is to not bend those whenever we put them together. So we're going to hold the bottom the same. So we're closing those keys down. Hold the top the same. So we're closing those keys down. And then just going to put it on and gently rock it into place. Now we don't want to go too far, but if we can line these keys up, line these posts up, so they're pointing from one side of the instrument down to the other, top to the bottom. That's the goal right there. Now our clarinet is together. All right, I'm going to explain a little bit more about the bridge and why it's important to hold the keys down but while you're putting it together. The upper bridge key, you see how that part is moving right now. The upper bridge key, when you're holding that down, the goal is to hold that one down so it's up, out of the way of the bottom one. So whenever they're put together, you're not going to catch one on the other, as well as not pull any of the cork off. Now another way to line the top and bottom up is take and line up this edge with the bottom of the bottom bridge key. So the bottom and top will be adjusted appropriately. Okay, next we're going to put the mouthpiece onto the instrument and line up the reed. Now we're going to start the exact same way we did before. We're going to put a little bit of cork grease onto the cork itself of the mouthpiece. Do the same and rub it in. One thing I did not mention before was that you don't have to put cork grease on every single time you play. It's there to condition the cork, and that is all. So what now we're going to do is we're going to take the instrument. This is the register key. What we're going to do is line that register key up with the flat of the mouthpiece. So it's always pointing towards the back, towards us. So we're going to hold on to the instrument solidly like we did before. Have a good hold of the mouthpiece and just gently twist it on. Again, so the flat, the register key is pointed up the flat. Now we're going to go ahead and put the reed in our mouth, soften things up a little bit. The reed is harder, so what we do is we soften that up by putting it into our mouth and getting it a little bit damp, a little wet. what we're going to do is put the ligature over top of the mouthpiece and have everything loosened up. Now this is a student level ligature. Student level ligatures generally have these screws on the bottom, so they're pointed towards you, towards the back, on the flat of the mouthpiece. So now this reed will be wet. We're just going to slide the ligature up a little bit and slide the reed down onto the mouthpiece. And whenever we're lining it up, we're going to line it up so you see just a little sliver of black, just a little sliver of the mouthpiece. Try to keep it on that flat as much as possible. Oops. And then push the ligature down onto the mouthpiece. And the goal is to come to the edge of this, or just a little bit past. Some mouthpieces will actually have lines on there, giving you a good indication of a rough spot where to stop. And then what I do is just go ahead and tighten things up here a little bit. Not real tight. You just want them to snug down onto it. Enough so it's tight on there and not flopping around. Think of it being just enough to move and a little bit more.